What up? 21?
21.
Jesus.
We're fucking. We can legally drink. Like we can go to a bar now.
Yeah, we can. That's
have a drink,
sick.
Meet chicks.
Yeah. Just like, hey, I'm Yo Wud Up Comics. Yo, what up?
Yeah.
I'm Yo Wud Up Comics.
With our coffee, they're like, "Oh, what are you guys drinking?" It's 9 o'clock on a Monday, and we're drinking what time is it? I lied. It's 8 o'clock on a Monday.
It's 8:07 p.m.
And we're drinking fucking coffee
This is what happens
instead of beer. This happens when you get old and have a full-time job and all that shit. But you know what else is fucking really weird? Is that I just saw before when I was on CBR before the show started, they're remaking The Others. You remember that Nicole Kidman movie, The Others?
Yeah.
So why would you remake a movie that has a major plot twist that the entire world already knows what the fucking plot twist is?
Well, A, I never saw it. B, I'm pretty sure it's a remake of a remake. Like, I think that
So it's a third
itself,
remake.
I think this is the third remake.
But why remake a movie that has a big plot twist? Like, what's the point of that?
When they remake The Sixth Sense, I'll have an answer for you.
If they remake The Sixth Sense,
joke, wouldn't it?
we riot.
Because
that would be so bad. Everybody out there listening to this podcast right now, what do you think would happen if they remade The Sixth Sense? But with that being said, what's up, everybody?
French roast. What's up, everybody?
Yeah, there, you can go for it. This is the 21st issue of Why Am I Nervous and Wud Up Comics. Where each and every week, we get together to talk all things comics, from old to new, fan theories to what ifs. We've got you covered. I'm Cameron James. Joining me, as always, the golden voice of the podcast, Matthew Ferreira, who got Kevin motherfucking Conroy to say happy birthday to this guy.
You can watch it on our YouTube. Cameron's reaction, at least. I don't think our actual... Your reaction to Kevin Conroy wishing you happy birthday out there, I don't think the actual video...
I almost double teared. I almost double teared, and I was so thrown off. Like I said, I was like, dude, is this fake? Like, that's all I was going through my head. I was looking at every single bit of that fucking video to be like, okay, this isn't real. This has to be either some sort of like Photoshop or some sort of... Then
like something.
It didn't click to me until you said, your friend's Matt. And I was like, no fucking way. Then I was like, how the hell? And of course, me, I don't know a goddamn thing about social media or anything online. So I'm like... What is going on right now?
Just get Kevin Conroy,
that was, and you gotta say, man, he's Batman.
Yeah,
like he's the GOAT.
Hands down.
He's the GOAT.
Hands down.
Like I
no
get
question.
it. Like
he's Batman. Mark Hamill's Joker. That's it.
Yeah,
I don't have any discussions about anything else. Like that's.
And even in like the live action movies, like it's still Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what's weird is that they never gave him the opportunity to actually be Bruce Wayne, Batman. When?
He did for one of the Crisis movies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, back when he originally started in, like, 92.
Oh, yeah, you would think. That would have been smart. Like, if they had done a Batman TV show with him and Mark Hamill. Oh, my God, if that was live action.
I don't know how Mark Hamill would have looked, though.
He could have pulled it off. I mean, he's played a ton of similar characters in live action.
You think so?
The guy he played in Jay and Silent Bob, and he played the trickster in the Flash TV show.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah, those CW shows, we always say this. I always say this. The CW shows
not even that. I think he played someone else on that Flash show. But
Did
the
really?
90s Flash I'm talking about, he played the trickster. Let me see if I can find that.
The 90s Flash show he was in it?
Yeah.
That's freaking mind-blowing. But yeah, no, it was, as I said before, that was hands down the best birthday gift I have ever received.
Well,
and it will go down in history as... number one. I said to somebody, I said, the only thing that would have been better, and this obviously would never happen in many years, would be if you guys somehow got my grandmother, who my grandmother passed away, everybody 7 years ago, who our sponsors, Me Moms, is dedicated to say a message. Then I would be like, I'm out.
Yeah, I
Fuck
don't
this,
know.
I'm done.
Yeah,
like, I have no idea how you pulled that off. But that's the only thing that could have possibly topped that. But no disrespect to Michael Keaton, who I still think is one of the greats too, but Kevin Conroy is
Conroy, man.
He's the G. And his house is dope looking.
His house does look dope. All that Batman money.
I know.
He said live from Wayne Manor.
Yeah. But we know it was weird. Like, the way he positioned himself, like where he was facing, you could see like right outside of his...
Oh, it was like straight water.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome. I wonder where he lives. Watch him live like
Malibu
around the corner somewhere. Malibu?
I don't know.
Why the fuck would Kevin Conroy be living in Malibu?
All right, here we go. I found it. Mark Hamill as a trickster in the original Flash TV show scene.
Oof. Oh, my God.
On this thing.
Max
out this volume. Oh, shit.
We would love to be able to put this
come on.
up on our YouTube, but we'll probably get shut down. Dude, he looks like Jim Carrey from Batman.
Yeah, he does. But he could have pulled off the Joker. I believe that.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you got to think he's skinny enough. Like he's still like in shape then.
Yeah, but he does look more like the Riddler.
Yeah, but I'm just saying like he's.
I wonder if they took Jim Carrey's character based on that look, because they look pretty damn close.
Oh, maybe.
Just food for thought. I mean, it would be an interesting choice if they did, but I don't know. Who knows? But
there was
what?
There was this. I don't know if you knew this happened on Birds of Prey, that brief lived show.
Wasn't this from like the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Did they do the Killing Joke scene?
Yep. This is the opening to the show. But Mark Hamill did the voice.
But he didn't do the acting of it, did he? Interesting. Yeah, that show didn't get very far.
No, because it was a stupid idea. They're like, what if it's a show about Batman's daughter and a bunch of other people nobody cares about? Like, stop doing. Like, for the love of God, I wish shows would stop doing that. Stop giving me crap about people I don't care about.
You said Batman's daughter.
It's a show about Batman and Catwoman's daughter.
Oh, they went that route.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And she's the star of the show. But Batman and Catwoman, not on the show.
At all.
It's like in the early 2000s, there was an Avengers cartoon. Now, let me ask you, if you're going to make an Avengers cartoon, who are the 5 people you're going to put on that team?
Iron Man,
mm-hmm.
Captain America, mm-hmm. Thor, and Hulk.
None of them appear in the show at all.
Who was it?
It was, and also you had one more person, and doesn't matter because the top 4.
I had 4.
You said, yes, 5.
No, you said 4.
I'm 90% sure I said 5.
Stamp mark, 7 minutes and 45 seconds. I'm going to figure out what. I'm going to look back, listen back to find out what the hell you said.
But it was, all the classic 4 Avengers, not in the show at all. At fucking all. It was.
Well, do you remember the Avengers video game for Super NES and the arcades?
Captain America, it was Cap's Kooky Quartet. It was Captain America, Vision,
Iron Man, and Hawkeye.
I thought it was Scarlet Witch and Hawkeye. Was it Iron Man?
No, Iron Man.
Iron Man was in that?
In Captain America and the Avengers for Super NES. I have it upstairs. We can live stream it one day if we want to do that.
Oh, that'd be fun, actually.
Yeah. Vision, because I always thought Vision was Silver Surfer for some reason because he was like the same color. And he shot like lasers out of his eyes.
Same color
in the game he was.
What?
Yeah, dude. You had to know what I'm talking about.
I'm looking up right now. I still love that we beat that one game all in one sitting. With
the Punisher?
Yeah. Punisher and Nick Fury.
Yeah. It was so far-fetched. You find it?
Yeah. Came out the same year as this. Oh, yeah. Shit, I guess it is.
You can't tell me he doesn't look like Silver Surfer.
Oh, he actually... What the fuck? Why did they do that?
Unless it is Silver Surfer. I don't think it is.
No, it's not Silver Surfer at all. I don't know why they made him silver. That's so weird. All right, I stand corrected.
Yeah. So, I don't know. You guys should go play the game, though, if you want to. It's really good. But anyway, once again, this is Why Am I Nerd? Represent Wud Up Comics. You can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd, and listen to new issues every Tuesday on your favorite podcast service, as well as YouTube. I almost said Mondays, but we're not. We're recording now on Mondays to do a weekly recap. Now, this show will be to recap all the news that happened the following week, as well as letting you know what will be the new releases, which in this not terminology, this standpoint, this situation, this reality, whatever. In this moment, we're talking about October 14th. So, Matt, tell us what's coming to the shops.
Who's it coming from? You didn't say.
Because I was checking to make sure it was from the 7, but it is. From the 7.
From DC, we've got Detective Comics number 1028, The Flash 763, Wonder Woman 764, Superman 26, Dark Knight's Death Metal number 4, Strange Adventures number 6, Justice League Odyssey number 25, The Batman's Grave number 11, Green Lantern Season 2 number 8, Rorschach.
Can't wait.
Like, it's issue 1, but like, why?
We're definitely doing something on that.
Yeah. Hawkman, number 28. Batman and the Outsiders, number 17. DC, The Doomed and the Damned, number 1. From Marvel, The House of Ideas. The Amazing Spider-Man, number 50. The Immortal Hulk, number 38. Avengers, number 37. New Mutants, number 13. Captain America, number 24. Hellions, number 5. Cable, number 5. Star Wars, Darth Vader, number 6. Captain Marvel, number 22. X of Swords Handbook, number 1. Is it X of Swords? Crossing of Swords? Like, what is it supposed to be?
I think it's X of Swords.
That's stupid. Marvel Zombies Resurrection, number 3. Warhammer 40,000. Marnius Calgar, number 1. True Believers Black Widow and the Amazing Spider-Man, number 1. True Believers Black Widow Amazing Adventures, number 1. From Boom Studios, Once and Future, number 12. Lumberjanes, number 74. Seven Secrets, number 3. Red Mother, number 9. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Willow, number 4. Isn't Willow just her best friend?
Where are you at?
Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
Was that what's her face? That wasn't the act. What was the actress in American Pie?
Yeah.
Is it?
That Willow? Yeah. Doesn't she not do anything?
I don't know. I guess
I might have to go back and like actually watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I feel like I never really watched it all the way through.
Apparently, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch show on Netflix.
The new one's
really,
supposed to be really good.
Yeah.
I was actually, my friend lent me the comic, and the comic's actually pretty dope.
Was it? Is it really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like, it's pretty dark. You might be into it.
No.
From the artwork's a little weird. It takes a little getting used to, but it's good. From Dynamite, we've got Vampirella, number 14. Killing Red Sonja, number 4. Die! Exclamation point. Namite, number 1.
It is her friend.
What?
Willow is her friend.
Yeah, but doesn't she not have like powers or anything?
No, she's just like a teenager, I think.
It's like, what the fuck would I want to read that book? Like, oh, Buffy stabbed a vampire again. Like,
I don't know.
Red Sonja, number 1, commemorative printing. From IDW, Sonic the Hedgehog, number 33. Usagi Yojimbo, number 13. Big Hero 6, the series, number 3. Dungeons and Dragons, Drizzt?
Don't ask.
100-page giant, number 1. Dark Horse, Bill and Ted Are Doomed, number 2. The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, National Anthem, number 1. Elf Quest, Stargazer's Hunt, number 4. From Image, Redneck, number 28. And Commanders in Crisis, number 1.
So what's interesting about this is apparently they showed off the, which I didn't know this because again, the Dark Knight Death Metal is like, it's like all over the place. And it was supposed to be like a reboot, and then they openly said like they're not using it as a way to reboot the DC universe, which is probably good because it's like way too convoluted and way too confusing. But I had no idea, I must have not read this issue, that they introduced Batman and Wonder Woman's daughter from the multiverse called Cull. I think it's what her name is. Cull, yeah, and pretty much this is her.
Oh.
Because I didn't know that Batman and Wonder Woman had a child, period.
So this is, well, it's an alternate reality. So
well, apparently they have a child named, I don't know how you'd say that. I guess it'd be
Cull?
Eliza Wayne from 1999 to 2017. No idea where that came from.
So she's 18? They have an 18-year-old daughter? Is that what
It's
you're
from
telling me?
from the Earth 27, which I did not know that. But yeah, when I read this say that they were going to introduce her multiverse child and that she's supposed to be like the next big baddie, which is cool because they introduced the Robin King, which is probably, they've said it's like the creepiest character they've introduced in DC Comics in a while, and apparently his comic is going already for like $500 online. I
forgot
think
that
what?
bottle broke down there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bottle broke too. Shit. Oh well, I guess we can clean it next time. But whatever. Anyway, moving on to who asked for this segment of the week is none other than poor Professor X being a goddamn creep.
Yeah. So I just read this, and so basically he's got this thought bubble over his head. I don't know if you can put this picture up. I don't know what her timestamp is, but he says, "Don't worry, as though I could help worrying about the one I love," referring to Jean Grey, "but I can never tell her. I have no right, not while I'm the leader of the X-Men and confined to this wheelchair," as he smokes a pipe. So
yeah,
weird.
It's kind of weird the way that his character acts, because sometimes, like, you kind of feel, I mean, obviously you feel bad for the guy. He's old, and he's working with a bunch of kids. So at the same time, is he a creep?
It depends on how old he is. I wonder how old Professor X is.
They make him seem like he's like super, super old. Like you can't disagree with me on that. Like it definitely comes across as him being older. But at the same time, if you think about it, Mystique and him are the same age, and him and Beast are the same age, right? Yeah. So how old is he really? Because unless Beast just doesn't age.
Yeah. How old?
And I'm going by based on the fact of the movies. We're trying to find how old Professor X is.
Yeah, when he forms the X-Men.
Well, when did how old were they in the movies?
I don't know. It doesn't tell me. So I'm typing in more.
Any luck?
In Dark Phoenix, he's 61.
Okay. So he is significantly older than the rest of them.
Yeah, so Quicksilver's and according to Dark Phoenix, this is bold. They did such a bad job with this. So the only one that looks accurate is Jean Grey's in her 20s. Magneto is 63. He does not look 63. Mystique is 59, and Quicksilver's in his 30s.
Do you think Magneto should be older?
He doesn't look like he's in his 60s.
You think he looks older or younger?
Younger. Michael Fassbender looks like he's
but you're talking. Wait a minute. Are you talking about the movie?
In the movie, that's how old they're supposed to be.
No, they're not. Seriously?
Yeah, that's what it says. That's what it says. He's 63 in Dark Phoenix.
Well, that movie just flat out sucked anyway.
Yeah.
So let's like be honest for a minute. That was a bad movie, and yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they would have fucked that up miserably.
They really did. They made a mistake. Like, why would you make the movies every 10 years? Like, it's so stupid. They made every movie jumped about 10 years. So First Class was in like the 60s. Then was Days of Future Past was in the 70s. Apocalypse was the 80s. And then Dark Phoenix was the 90s.
Dark Phoenix was supposed to be the 90s?
Mm-hmm.
I thought First Class was really good. And then I kind of felt like they slowly started to go downhill.
Well, I mean, Days of Future Past was good, but just because it cleaned up a lot of shit.
Days of Future Past was the one where... What? Which one's that?
They go back in time.
Who?
Wolverine.
That's when they start fighting the Sentinels?
Which... yeah, that's when they're fighting the Sentinels. I'm tempted to give that a shenanigan.
Well, you have...
Because I have
plenty of time
but
before
I'm tempted to give one to that because they, you know what, I am going to do that. That's full disclosure. We have a Shinanigans Engine and it's an early reveal, but I'm going to go into why it's shenanigans later.
Okay, there you go. But before we get into that, we got a lot of shit to talk about tonight, whatever the fuck you want to say. So Matt, tell us what's hot at the press curtain of the Planet Bugle.
Damn, we really do.
Yep.
The Flash and Spider-Man 3 may be biting off more than they can chew. So it looks like, before I read this article, my guess is that this is talking about how they're going to be doing too much time travel and dimension hopping, which I agree is a major fucking issue, especially for Flash. It kind of makes sense. Spider-Man, not so much. I don't understand, even as a Spider-Man fan, I don't understand the recent obsession with the multiverse for Spider-Man. Like, it should not be that prominent for a street-level hero. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
It just shouldn't be a thing. For Flash, it makes sense because he's fucking around running through time with the goddamn Speed Force. Like, that kind of makes sense. This, not so much. I don't think it needs to happen as often as it is. And I was really excited to have the new Spider-Man kind of build off the momentum of the end of the last movie, where he's now almost seen as a villain in people's eyes, and there's no Tony Stark to protect him, so he's got to, even more so than the last film, figure out a way to do things on his own. Yeah,
now they have 3 topics here, so pretty much the first one they discuss is the multiverse is simply unnecessary, which I agree. Like, but you already have this.
They need to do it for... and actually, so this ties into the second point. Is Flashpoint a course correction or a gimmick? No, I think if they do it right, it's a course correction. I think that actually needs to happen for the DC movies because there's no clear direction with anything that's happening.
But here's the thing that I'm thinking about when I'm looking at this is that, DC's already kind of screwing this up because they already have the new, the Batman, which we'll talk about later, coming out.
Yeah.
They're already filming it. So you already have a different universe there already.
And then you got a whole explanation as to why that Batman's not in shape.
Yeah,
You gotta find something because fuck Robert Pattinson.
Sure, we'll talk about that later. But so I guess DC already has 2 universes, which they're already shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
and I think they messed up originally. Granted, the movie's great, but it's really difficult to watch. Is they kind of fucked up by not bringing in the Joker, Joaquin Phoenix Joker, into what they're.
I don't think they could have though, and I still haven't watched that movie yet. But I don't think they could have.
But it's just like
that one's more. Almost too grounded.
Yeah, but you're planting the seed of already having another universe. You know, like, think about it. You don't have 2 X-Men storylines going on at once.
I mean, you could.
But you don't. You don't have 2 fucking Spider-Man stories going on at once. You have 1 Spider-Man. So now you're going to have 2 Batman, 3 Batman, 4 different Batman running
Plus
around.
Whatever happens on TV.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
I do think that the Spider-Man movie doesn't need this to happen.
No, it definitely doesn't.
You know, I think that Flashpoint needs to happen. 100%.
It'd be one thing. It's going to be one thing if they do it as a post-credit scene that ties into the Doctor Strange movie. That I could kind of see. You know what I mean? Like if Spider-Man has all these issues and he goes to Doctor Strange for help towards the end of the film to try and fix stuff, and then something gets fucked up and that splinters things, then maybe I could see it. But if the entire focus of the movie is him with Andrew Garfield, who sucks ass, and Tobey Maguire, then...
Well, how do you see it playing out? Or you truly don't? You truly can't figure it out?
No, I'm saying that's the only way I could see it playing out. That's the only way I can see it playing out and making sense to the point that I wouldn't be angry as if it's something that's later in the film. That, like, you know what I mean? It's like almost like a post-credit thing where, like, Doctor Strange is like, all right, I'm going to try and correct this. Don't move. And Spider-Man, like, sneezes or something and it fucks it up. You know what I mean? Like somehow something gets fucked up somewhere with the magic and then boom.
But by doing this, by doing Flashpoint, which, you know, obviously they've been rumored and I think they've guaranteed said that they're doing it. What universe are you pulling together here? You're pulling together right away Batman from 1989, right? You're pulling that together. You're pulling in the modern day Batman. You're not pulling in Christian Bale's Batman.
Nope.
You're not pulling in Robert Pattinson's Batman.
I mean, they might.
So, they're not, unless they're doing a really good job keeping it quiet. But you're essentially pulling in 2 universes that don't even make sense anyway.
Yeah, and then just being like, here's stuff.
I think that I don't know, man. I think that they need to reboot the DC universe, obviously, especially the live action stuff. It's just, are they going to put too much shit in this movie? 100%.
Yeah, they're going to do it.
You know, and the only other movie that you could really say that kind of, you know, dabbled on these lines is Days of Future Past.
And even that did it better, and there's a comic precedent. Like they used it as their out. It still was a little iffy, but it worked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they also did a good job with that. Is you could tell when they were in the past and when they were in the present. Yeah. Or the future, or the hell you want to say. Like they did a really good job doing that. So here, it's going to be like, what is Flash going to go back in time to like, you know, Wayne Manor, and he's going to go inside and call for Bruce, and freaking Michael Keaton's going to walk out and just be like, "Fuck are you?"
Probably.
You know, exactly, you know, and then he's going to be like, "Oh, okay, you're obviously not who I think you are."
Yeah.
Because obviously, the guy that played Alfred in those movies is passed away. So,
deceased. Well, if it's going to be future Bruce Wayne anyway, that would make sense. Like, Alfred would be dead.
Oh, so you think he's going to go ahead of time?
Oh yeah, I think.
Wait, so you think Michael Keaton's Batman is going to be older than?
Oh yeah. Oh
really?
Because Michael Keaton's older. Like.
Yeah, Michael Keaton could look younger.
I don't think they could pull. I think that would be too weird. Like I think he's going to be an older.
Yeah,
version
but Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne has gray hair.
Yeah, but he's so younger than Michael Keaton.
That's interesting. I kind of didn't think of it that way.
No, I think he's definitely going to be playing an older version of Bruce Wayne. That was never even a question in my mind. Like, why wouldn't he be an older version? He is old.
Yeah, but, I mean, Ben Affleck is older too, though.
Yeah, but they unnecessarily aged Ben Affleck's Batman, which is one of my issues with it, because I think they wasted a good actor on a bad script.
I guess the other problem too is like, are they only going forward?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I know.
Can you imagine if they go front and back?
That's definitely that's what makes it a trippy time movie.
What we're talking about? Flashpoint.
Like Flash running all over, trying to correct shit, trying to get back to the right timeline.
But that's where it fucks up. Rather than just being like, hey, here's Flashpoint, the book. Yeah, we can't do everything from the book, but, we could take the main parts of it.
Yeah.
They're not doing that.
No.
And I've said it before, the book Flashpoint and that universe that kind of sprung off from it is really good. Especially the Thomas Wayne stuff. Of course I'm going to say that. Yeah, of course. But you've said it too. Like the twist in that arc is good.
Yeah.
You can't
expect it.
Yeah, you can't deny that. So it will be interesting. I do think that they're biting off a little more than they could chew, but let's just hope for the best. Obviously, we don't want, anything bad to happen to any of these movies. And every bad movie, we got you covered anyway. We'll watch it over on Hero Cinema. So we still have to watch The Avengers. We're taking our sweet-ass time on that. Because honestly, if you want my honest opinion, I just don't want to watch it.
I mean, we got to watch it.
I know we got to watch it, but...
It's better than, like... How many movies have we watched? 10?
I'd rather just smoke some weed and watch something bad.
No, you don't say that, because then we go, oh, God, watch us get something really bad just because you said that. You put it in the air. Swear to God, if I've got to watch another fucking Toxic Avenger movie.
I hope we get the musical. Oh, I'm putting a new rule into the show. We're each allowed one audible.
So we can skip a movie?
No, we can replace the movie.
So it just pushes that movie back.
Yeah, and we can either... Now, do we want to do, or we can just re-pick, or you can actually pick the movie?
Interesting. I think you get to pick the movie.
Okay, so we get one audible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay. I like that.
And I'm not using it. And the movie can be, if there's not a movie on that list, which every movie should be on there, but if some odd reason we forgot one, you can use it for that.
Okay.
So, Toxic Avenger musical, here we come.
You really going to do that?
We'll wait and see.
Oh, God.
But anyway... Moving on to still television. Did the Green Lantern TV show drop the ball with its fucking casting?
Yep.
So.
Yep.
There's nothing that makes sense about this. End of story.
And this goes back to what we were saying earlier. It's really fucking easy to make a successful superhero show if you just make it about the fucking superhero. Nobody wants to see a goddamn Alan Scott Green Lantern show. Nobody wants to see it. Hal Jordan, hell yeah. Jon Stewart, I'm fucking in. Guy Gardner, not so goddamn much. Like, was the other one? Kyle Rayner, like, sure, I guess. Like, but then there's also Jessica Cruz, Simon Baz, Kilowog. Like, I am not here for that.
Because here's the thing that's weird, and this is what's weird about it, is they went with the first Green Lantern, the first human Green Lantern, and the third.
And
Alan
Scott wasn't even part of the Green Lantern Corps, really. He was just a hero called the Green Lantern, wasn't he?
I hit the ring.
No, but I don't think he was part of the Green Lantern Corps. Like, he wasn't like a... I don't think he was like a true member of the Green Lantern Corps.
Because, again, I was pretty stoked at this. I thought this could be a cool show. We talked about this before. And then when I read this about who they're bringing in, I'm just kind of like, why are you doing this? You have to know, but wait a minute. Hold on. Didn't they just cast James Marsden?
Did they?
Didn't he just get cast for the Green...
But is that for...
Didn't we talk about this? Wasn't James Marsden cast in the Green Lantern?
He might have been.
It wasn't...
Look that up. I'm looking up.
Yeah, he was cast as... Hold on. It is James Marsden, right? James Marsden.
All right, I'm just going to give you...
Go for
it. According to Wikipedia, thousands of years ago, a mystical green flame fell to Earth in ancient China as a meteor. A voice in the flame predicted that it would act 3 times, once to bring death, once to bring life, and once to bring power. For the first prophecy, a lamp maker created the green metal of the meteor into a lamp. In fear as punishment for what they thought was sacrilege, the local villagers killed him, only to be destroyed by a sudden burst of the green flame. That's stupid.
I mean, so you're saying this is now dead in the water?
It's not dead in the water. I'm just saying that's the background of the original Green Lantern. Like, he's not part of, like, the Green Lantern Corps. He wasn't given a magic ring by aliens. Like, it's just a different thing.
I really thought that he was signed on for. I guess I'm completely wrong, but
maybe he was suggested for it.
I don't know. That's weird. I mean, I think that the problem that you have is that, you know, Guy Gardner isn't exactly the most popular fucking.
No, and we're gonna bring him up later because he dies in this book. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Yes, yes, I agree. I mean, but again, so when you're at a drawing board and you're sitting there with everybody else, and someone says, "Hey,"
it's fan art. I just found it. The James Marsden thing. It's just fan art.
I really thought that they announced that he had signed on for this. I know he signed because I remember we talked about this and we said it's about time he got a superhero role.
Yeah, like a new one at least.
Yeah,
but this is a.
But when you sit there in a room, right, and you have a group of guys, a group of women, mixed, whatever you want to say, chilling, talking about a Green Lantern movie, who the fuck raises their hand and says, "Hey, let's do"?
That's Aqualad on the Teen Titans show.
What is that?
That's Aqualad on the Titans show.
When? This year? This upcoming season?
I don't know. I stopped watching it.
I did too. That looks awful. You know, who comes up with this concept of this storyline?
I don't know why. Like, I don't just make it about the ones people care about. It's like the same as like when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna do a show about Gotham. It's gonna be all the villains and their rise to power, and Bruce Wayne is 12." Like, why the fuck would I want to watch a show about Jim Gordon failing to bring in criminals? Every time he arrests someone, I know they're going to break out.
And that's where it's like, when does the fine line happen when you're like, okay, we can do a show about, they could have done an Arkham.
No reason, yeah.
Right. And let's say they said, hey, we're going to do a fucking show on Arkham Asylum. Okay, you can do that. And if you want to do it based on the criminals breaking out all that shit, fine. But Batman should still be showing up there. Like, imagine if they took like the Arkham Asylum video game and just inverted it.
Do you have any idea how much fucking money you could print money if you just made a Batman TV show? Print it.
Yeah.
You could print, like, it'd be if HBO took it. If HBO put the goddamn Game of Thrones budget into a Batman show, it would be a hit overnight.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
It makes zero sense to me why they're not doing that.
The only concern I would have is, do you go really dark with it, like what obviously the Batman is going to be, or do you go more like, kind of like, what would you say, like what do they call it? Like bubblegum, like
no, fuck that.
popcorn?
You go really dark. You make it a full, substantial story because that's what's going to keep people invested.
Yes.
And Batman's one of the heroes you can actually do that with because he doesn't have superpowers.
Correct.
So everything he does is going to be a little bit more grounded. You can't make a Spider-Man show in the same way because of all the tricks and stunts and moves he would have to do.
Right.
So it's like, just fucking do it. Like, just do it.
Yeah. I mean,
we've got a goddamn Superman show coming. But we can't get a fucking Batman TV show? Batman hasn't had a TV show in live action since the 60s.
And that was god-awful.
60. I mean, it was campy. It has its place. But, like, you know, like, come on.
But it doesn't have its place in modern day.
No.
In the history books, it has a place. But in the standpoint of what we all expect out of, you know, a Batman movie or a Batman TV show, it's not even close.
It's just ridiculous. And if you're insisting that you can't make a Batman TV show with Bruce Wayne, for the love of God, give us one with Terry McGinnis.
Yeah. And that's what I swore for the longest time the Batman was going to be. I really, really thought that they were doing Batman Beyond and doing a really good job keeping it.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Keeping it quiet.
Could you imagine going to the movies and seeing if all the set pictures were fake? Could you imagine how awesome that would be? Because
here's my thing with that is you've seen, like, I think you've seen him holding something that says Bruce, right? Maybe on the trailer.
Yeah, but or Mr. Wayne or something.
Yeah, but you've only seen the hands.
Yeah.
You've never seen the face.
I mean, dude, it would be an epic fake out. It would also explain why he's not in shape, which actually should bring us to our next topic.
Yes. Go for it.
Is the Batman in trouble? You're going to what?
I got to check the computer.
Oh, sure. Is the Batman in trouble? Robert Pattinson fakes coronavirus. The Batman is in trouble. So two sources have come out and stated that there are big problems surrounding the Batman with claims that Robert Pattinson may have faked the coronavirus and that the actor is butting heads with director Matt Reeves, which is causing massive issues with production. This comes to us from cosmicbook.news. That's pretty bad. I mean, we called this out months ago. I said it was an issue that he's not working out.
This is another Andrew Garfield situation, it sounds like.
Yeah. Andrew Garfield at least went to the gym, though.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the standpoint of like butting heads with
the director and
But how do you just you obviously have sit down meetings with these people before you sign on. It's not like you go in cold turkey like I have no idea who the fuck this guy is. Yeah. You obviously have an idea. So where is the conflict coming from? Creative control, ideas. Look, no disrespect to Robert Pattinson. You're not exactly the oldest actor around. Yeah. So, like, do you really have the say to be able to do that? I mean, I get it. Like, look, unfortunately, right now, you'll always be Twilight.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. You've tried to make moves. You did Tenet, which apparently was pretty good. He did the Lighthouse. He did the Lighthouse movie, which was fucking beyond weird. And I get it. He's trying to get away from that whole, like, Twilight, Edward, fucking vampire bullshit. Yeah. But unfortunately, when you do a major series like that and you're the main focus, that's kind of what you're going to be linked up to.
I'm sparkly bad.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, that's the whole fucking thing.
So I think that the problem here is probably, if anything, I could see it being either A, he's just being a bitch and he's tired and he's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Or C, I mean, I don't think Matt Reeves is a dick. I've never, gotten him. Besides that, but I've never really got the impression that he was, being an asshole about things. So, I think that this being in trouble may be a little overhyped. I don't really think that they're going to be like, hey, we're going to shut down production on this and all of a sudden move on, and because you can't. But then again, they always said 20% of the movie is filmed. So, do you recast it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can't. It should. This is why I've been long under the belief that you can't have a mainstream actor. You don't need it. You don't need a top level Hollywood star to headline this film. It's gonna sell itself. It's a fucking Batman movie. So get a guy who's like hungry for the role, who's gonna do a good job, like almost like they did with Daredevil. Like, they didn't get, like, and Daredevil was a property that had a much greater risk of not being successful when it moved to Netflix.
He would have been a pretty good Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I can see it. Charlie Cox is a great actor. He's British. You would never know. Like, he does a great job playing Matt Murdock. So, like, get someone like...
Bless.
Excuse me. Thank you. Get someone like that. There has to be a young, hungry actor out there who could fill the role that will work out and that will be so grateful for the part that he's not going to fucking spit in the director's face.
I was never big on the casting call originally.
No one was.
And again, they just showed up another couple photos of him online looking miserable, unless he's a method actor and just being really methody. Yeah. But he, again, we just said this 5 minutes ago. His character design looks like fucking Terry McGinnis. Does not look like Bruce Wayne to me. And I understand that with they're like, like it just doesn't. Yeah. And you can't. Somebody find me and send us on Instagram a fucking photo of a Batman comic when he looks like that. You're not going to find it. No. You're not going to find it. And if it does happen to be with creative control, first of all, you read the fucking script. Second of all, do I think that this is probably just a bullshit news article that really is just going out there to leak shit? Probably. But, again, the big thing about this movie is it's definitely not going to tie in with the current universe that they have because it seems like they're going with a more realistic look.
Yeah, even right here. This is Terry McGinnis. I don't know if you can put this up. I don't know what our timestamp is.
Got it.
But this is a picture of Terry McGinnis as Batman, and it looks like Robert fucking
It does.
Pattinson.
So why the fake out?
No clue.
And I guess my thing is this, real fast before we move on. If this is a major fake out, and if they do a really good job, because they've done fake outs before.
You know what else would be kind of sick?
No.
What if he was Damian Wayne?
I could see that.
I don't think he is, but just that would be interesting. I wouldn't see that coming.
No, not at all. That would be really interesting. But if they do a Batman Beyond, I think we've made a prediction before. Who's Bruce?
Michael Keaton.
So how do they pull his Bruce Wayne into? Is that how they tie the universe? Are we making our own fucking universe now? We're making our own.
That's what they're doing. But speaking of making your own universe, from Giant Freaking Robot, we've got an update that Robert Downey Jr. is to return as Tony Stark in a new Marvel movie. That has to be bullshit. Apparently, the rumors from Geekosity suggesting that RDJ might return as Tony Stark from a parallel Earth, an Earth where Reed Richards recruited Stark to join the Illuminati. This rumor also adds that Downey Jr. would return as Stark, but not Iron Man. In this alternate world, Spider-Man would still idolize Stark, but in that reality, it would be Miles Morales instead of Peter Parker. That is a lot to unwrap, and I don't think it's a good idea.
So they're pretty much saying that that Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark is in a second universe as well.
Yeah.
So there's two versions of him.
Allegedly. But RDJ also said in a podcast with the Smartless podcast with Jason Bateman, Will Arnett, and Sean Hayes, they said, so I'm assuming that the Marvel thing is at a slower speed now, or are you done with that now? And Robert Downey Jr. replied, that's all done. I got to think this is fake. It would also completely invalidate his death. I think that's why they're bringing alternate characters to play Tony Stark in different universes.
So you think there's no way he shows back up?
I think he shows up eventually, but I don't think it'll be for a long time. Like, it might be like a flashback in a future movie. I don't think it's going to be for at least like 3 years, maybe 4 years.
You think Robert Downey Jr. will show back up, though, at some point?
I think he'll show up. He won't be, like, alive again, but I think he'll show back up. Something will happen where they reference him.
So I'm curious, then, if they're making these, automatically doing these weird, assumptions of bringing him back, what are they going to do with Black Panther? Is the Spider-Man movie a way for them to introduce the next Black Panther?
Interesting thought. It's possible. The rumor that I heard that they were going to do was say that off-screen, T'Challa sacrifices himself so that the purple heart-shaped herb can regrow. And that, because remember, Killmonger destroyed all of them, and there was one left, and yes, T'Challa ate it so he could, like, get his powers back. So, essentially, there's no more.
Right.
So, like, he would somehow sacrifice himself to that astral plane so they could grow again so more people could be Black Panther after.
I would have a problem with that.
I think that makes sense.
No, I agree. I agree. It makes sense, but my problem is how are you going to make that an impactful moment without them just being like, "Hey, where's T'Challa?" And there's like, "Oh, he sacrificed himself."
Well, that's how in the beginning of the movie they did that kind of opening, going through the history of Wakanda. It could be something like that, and then Shuri ends up taking the role because that's what happened in the comics where she took it over. What is upsetting? I mean, obviously, Chadwick Boseman's death is terrible. But I was really excited to see what they could have done with the T'Challa-Namor rivalry in the future. I think that would have been a really cool thing to see. And I don't think it works as well with Shuri. I just can't.
So do you think they'll do it?
I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're going to do now.
I mean, they haven't even casted Namor.
No, but I mean, I think it's something that could have potentially been brought up. Like, the movie was delayed, I think, pretty significantly already.
What was?
Black Panther 2. I think that's the whole reason we weren't seeing anything on it was because he was, like, sick. And I'm sure the Marvel executives knew that.
So why would somebody even come up with this idea that Robert Downey Jr. would be back?
To make money. You know what I mean? Like, just to be like...
I mean, what's next? Freaking what's-his-face is back, too? Chris Evans?
He still has the potential to show back up. Like, I mean, that isn't unrealistic. Like, his character's just old.
Yeah, but what do we read in House of M? He's old as fuck too.
Yeah.
So they haven't announced a House of M movie. You're assuming that WandaVision will be their version of House of M.
Basically, yeah. Well, yeah. Ish.
So are they actually? I guess.
Ish. It won't be House of M per se, but it will be multiversal.
So then
like
is this new Spider-Man movie technically they're gonna be their House of M?
It's gonna be related. House of M is too specific to say that. I think it's going to be a multiverse thing. Exactly. I think it's going to be exactly what it's titled. There's Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, where he's trying to rein in all of Wanda's crazy bullshit. I think that's...
Which I don't think they actually made a comic on that. I think it's many arcs.
No, they didn't. I think they're doing something kind of unique based on some things that kind of happened in the comics and some things that didn't.
Yeah. So this Spider-Man movie is going to be their Flashpoint.
I don't think the Spider-Man movie is going to be related. So I don't think it's going to be straight up Flashpoint.
You think Doctor Strange is going to be their Flashpoint? Yeah.
But that's even if it's a hard reset. I think it's a good way for them to bring in mutants potentially. You know, like.
But do they need the hard reset?
No, but they do need a way to bring in their new properties. They need a way for the Fantastic Four to exist, and they need a way for the X-Men to exist, and for them to have existed for a while without, helping the Avengers.
So, who's the first X-Men, I guess, X-person that you see?
Cyclops, probably.
Really?
I would think they'd bring in, obviously Professor X is going to be involved too, but actual active team member, probably Cyclops.
Interesting. I thought they were obviously going to be Wolverine.
No, I think they're going to wait on Wolverine.
Really?
I think they're going to wait. I think God help me if they do this, I will actually blow a load in my pants. If they wait, have the X-Men movies established for a little bit, then bring in Wolverine in a new Hulk movie, like he actually first appeared in the comics, where Hulk's on a rampage, like, we need a way to take Hulk down. They're like, the Canadians are sending someone in. You're like, who the fuck are the Canadians sending in? And out of a fucking helicopter jumps Wolverine as the first goddamn appearance, and he comes down, he's like, what's up, bub? I will lose my fucking shit. Like, that was what I wanted to see. My buddy Kyle backed me on this, because he wanted to see it too, in X-Men Origins. We're like, if he shows up fighting Hulk in this movie, I'm going to lose it.
So you're going with his first appearance will be in a Hulk movie.
I think that would be the smart, or at least fighting the Hulk. It could be technically an Avengers movie, because I don't think they can make solo Hulk films, but if somehow they were able to, and Wolverine shows up, I'm all in.
You don't think they can make a solo Hulk film because you don't think it would produce?
No, I think there's some kind of legal thing where they can.
Really?
Yeah, there's something weird about it. I'd have to look into it again, but it's something weird with the rights.
That's interesting. Mm-hmm. But I hope they start having... I hope whoever they cast for the new Wolverine... I haven't hit the gym yet, guys, so sorry. I'm still working on that. I'm still trying to figure out my Canadian accent. I'm hoping that they do more dialogue directed from the comics and not... Again, no disrespect to Hugh Jackman by any means, but...
What do you mean dialogue?
Like more of his personality. I don't feel like Hugh Jackman...
Yeah, well, they made him... Because they adapted him to be like the face of the franchise. So he wasn't like the badass that... He was badass, but not Wolverine level badass.
Yeah, he wasn't as wise-assy, I guess you could say, and smart-ass type
where
deal.
He's just like, I don't take orders, you know?
Yeah.
He was just like...
He was trying to be like, hey, professor, like, let me help, let me do this, let me do that.
His attitude in the first movie was more in line with the way he should have been, but then after that, he was just kind of like, we got to do this for the team. Like,
you're talking about the first X-Men movie.
The first X-Men movie was the most accurate...
Because he wasn't known. Nobody really knew who the fuck he was. And then everyone's like, oh my God. And then every woman's like, he's the hottest thing in the world. Then they're like, all right, dude, good luck.
Now you're super famous. Yep. So we're going to make it all about you.
They're like, all right.
It's the same issue they had with fucking Mystique being a major character. After what's her face?
When Jennifer Lawrence played?
Yeah, when Jennifer Lawrence started playing her, then they're like, well, she's got to have a bigger role. It's like, this doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and like her...
sorry.
No, I'll say... Me? Am I going?
I was going to say really quick. I got into an argument with a kid in college because he was like, well, Mystique's crazy powerful. She can replicate powers. I'm like, no, she can't. She can just, look like people. She can't copy their powers.
Right. And I think that, and I'm going to go full spoiler here for a second. So if you've not seen Dark Phoenix.
Why would anyone watch Dark
Turn
Phoenix?
this off for a split second. But like her death in that movie was not even that cool.
It was just like, all
right.
Well, because she sucks. Like, what the fuck was she really even going to do in that fight? Oh, the Phoenix Force is out? All right, I'll turn into someone else and distract her.
But you know what the problem is? And it's like, I'm gonna reference something really random here. It's like going back in the days when I used to watch like WWF, and they would like force somebody to like somebody, but you're like, I don't like this guy. Like, I'm not gonna root for him. I kind of feel like they did that with Mystique, where they were like forcing you to like her. Like, she's gonna be the main. And like when she died, I was like, don't care.
Yeah.
And honestly, there was nobody in the Dark Phoenix movie, or just in that X-Men universe period, that they built up enough that I was like, if that person dies, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah.
There was nobody.
Maybe Quicksilver.
No.
Maybe.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, but his death would have been like
it was like, oh, that sucks. Yeah. I would have been like, oh no. Yeah. I would have been like, no. Like, it wasn't like in fucking Avengers when people start getting snapped to where you're like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
Like, who's next? What's gonna happen? Like,
and they missed the mark on that bad.
Yeah.
And how they missed the mark on it that bad, I have no fucking idea.
They forced it. That's
but
exactly how.
It is what it is. And speaking of the Dark Phoenix, I actually spelled this wrong on your end, so I don't know if you have what I just edited. They have finally announced, we talked to this a month or two ago about they were giving the Dark Phoenix Force was going to somebody else.
Yeah.
And they've given it to none other than fucking Moon Knight. And in a standpoint of, I guess, like, religious-based reasons, maybe, it makes sense because now he's just praying to a new god, essentially. But totally not what I was expecting. It was not even on that list of people that we read however long ago, whatever that episode was.
Yeah, and I don't even like the way his costume looks. I'm not the biggest fan of this.
Again, I think that it makes sense in a sense of like how they, in a sense of them being able to do it. His costume here with the white and the gold.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much the reason he gets it is he's getting his ass beat by Black Panther.
Yeah.
And I guess he just somehow summons it. I don't even know where this. It comes from Avengers 36, so I have not read. And again, I've said before, I'm trying to get into Moon Knight, but unfortunately, I just got screwed over from Amazon with a buyer who I found out was fake.
That sucks.
So now I'm fighting to get my money back, but that's irrelevant. But anyway, do you like this call or no?
Nope.
Not even in a sense of like how they're pulling it in.
I just don't get it. Maybe it's because I'm out of touch on the comics. Maybe it's because I kind of liked Moon Knight as being his own person. But like the Phoenix Force is, I'm pretty sure I said in the past, the Schinanigans Engine. And this is just like kind of overkill. They do too much with the Phoenix Force anyway. So it's just, I think they need to chill a little bit and maybe find something new. Because the Phoenix Force used to just be a Jean Grey thing. Then it was if you were a clone or a future version or any other redhead with psychic powers in the Marvel universe, you had the Phoenix Force. Then it was the remaining X-Men when they fought the Avengers, you had the Phoenix Force. Now it's inexplicably Mark Spector as the Phoenix Force. Like, just stop. Just fucking stop. They're thinking eat goddamn sons. Why is anybody going up against it? Like, what the fuck is Black Panther going to do against the fucking Phoenix Force?
Yeah, and in this aspect of things, they pretty much say that Spectre says he took Panther's advice and said he starts to pray to somebody else. So Black Panther gets the upper hand in the fight. He starts to walk away. Spectre reaches out to him and says, finish it. I have to finish the prayer. My name is Mark Spector. The fist of the Phoenix, and then he gets the Phoenix Force.
Which brings me back to something else that pissed me off, and I brought this up before on the show. In Avengers versus X-Men, fucking Iron Fist, the Fist of the Phoenix is what made me think of this. Iron Fist is like, oh yeah, well one time the dragon beat the Phoenix in a fight. And I'm like, when and why would that have ever happened? A. B. What the fuck? And C. They're like, so we're going to train this young girl, Hope, on how to master the Iron Fist so she can use it to fight the Phoenix Force. And it is of absolutely zero consequence in the rest of the book. I have to reread it to remember exactly how little consequence it is, but I remember it being borderline completely inconsequential.
So now, does this make? I guess I'm gonna figure out. I guess I'm just gonna say this out loud. Does this make Moon Knight a Omega level mutant now, even though he's not even a mutant?
At all. He's not
exactly.
a mutant at all. So
that's
he's
what I'm
just
saying.
Really fucking strong.
But again, the way they brought it in, I guess it makes sense by him praying for something and getting the Phoenix Force. But in a sense of, did I think he was the right choice for this? No. It could be cool to see what they do, but this is like giving Batman fucking superpowers. It's just not necessary.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking thing.
It's super unnecessary.
So, but before we get into our featured comic of the week, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
Why Am I a Nerd podcast network has been brought to you by our sponsor, Me Moms. The best breakfast and lunch down the Jersey Shore with 3 great locations in Wall Township, Middletown, and Brick, New Jersey. Me Moms specializes in unique and fun takes on your traditional lunch and breakfast items. Open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can find more information at www.memoms.com.
Yeah, it's really stupid. I just read the summary again. It's fucking stupid.
Of that show, of what?
Of what? So she trains, this girl Hope trains in Kunlun to learn to master the Iron Fist energy and like kind of uses it, but not really. Like, it's stupid. It's fucking stupid.
All
like,
right.
Hope and Scarlet Witch work together to take down Dark Phoenix, which is at that point a Cyclops. And then the Phoenix escapes Cyclops' body and enters Hope. It's fucking stupid. And then the Phoenix gets wished away. Like, fuck out of here. It's fucking dumb.
Well, something that wasn't dumb to the world was our featured comic of the week.
This was a massive...
Which is none other than The Death of Superman Doomsday, which came out
December of 1992. Written by multiple authors. So, yeah, this is a huge crossover story that made massive headlines. Like, this is a big deal. People were shocked that Superman actually died when this came out. It was, like, on the news and stuff. So it's a big deal, massive crossover event. Basically, Doomsday is a monster that comes inexplicably out of nowhere. Like, there's zero background. He's punching his way out of a door.
The thing that's interesting to me here is obviously I was 4 when this came out. I wonder if this comic was called The Death of Superman or was it called Doomsday?
I think it was called The Death of Superman.
I think it was called Doomsday because if you look at the Wikipedia of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 different arcs to this. And the first arc was called Doomsday, the second arc was called Funeral for a Friend, and the third arc was called Reign of Superman. So, I'm curious if they only named this The Death of Superman for the trade paperback. And if it wasn't actually as that. Because, again, why would you want to give away such a big...
Because it would sell it. But again, I agree with you. Like, I mean, it does make sense. It's a crossover. That's Superman's a crossover event. Blah, blah, blah. Beginning December.
You'd have to see what action comic it was. So if you
so it's divided into The Death of Superman is divided into 3 arcs.
Yes.
So
Doomsday, Funeral for a Friend, and Reign of Superman.
Cover of Superman Volume 2, number 75 is titled The Death of Superman.
Yeah, but that's Volume 2. It's a volume. It's a trade paperback.
No. But it's the printing edition was number 2. This came out in January of 93.
So that's the second printing.
The actual issue when he died. No, it's not the second. It's volume. Like, when they renumber comics, that's Volume 2. So, like, Superman could have been on issue 300. They're like, fuck it, new volume. We'll start at number 1. So it's Volume 2, like, issue 1.
Interesting.
So that one's titled The Death of Superman. So it's probably called Doomsday, and then, like, boom, Superman dies next issue.
So this compared to let's just get this out of the way. This book compared to the movie is nothing alike.
Yeah.
Like, they are so far off on this, or on the movie compared to this. And I think in the better.
I mean, yeah, the movie does it, I would say better. Yeah.
The movie does it better than this, unfortunately. And the main reason is because the Justice League in this is Booster Gold, Bloodwind, Ice, Maxima, Guy Gardner, Fire, and Blue Beetle. Like, no shit they're gonna get their asses beat.
Yeah.
And
listen, dude, that's something we need to bring up here. They get their asses fucking beat. Booster Gold, how do you not know what's happening? You're from the fucking future. You didn't have this recorded, the fucking deaths of Superman? Guy Gardner literally, I think, gets curb stomped.
Yeah, he does.
Like,
he
by
does.
fucking Doomsday, which, like, and he's just like, oh, my face really hurts. I can't see. I'm like, fuck you. You're fucking dead, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you were fucking, you don't even have a helmet.
He gets stomped
There's
on.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing. And then at one point, is
Blue
it Booster
Beetle,
Gold?
Blue Beetle gets broken in half.
Blue Beetle is so dead. Blue Beetle might be more dead than everyone else, but I think it's Booster Gold gets his head put through a tree and then punched a couple times. He's like, "Oh no, my face hurts." I'm like, "No, bro, you're dead." And like, I feel so bad for Ice. She gets like tossed through a building.
She gets thrown through the house.
Yeah, she gets thrown through a house. That poor family.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, in Ohio, the worst state in America. Doomsday's like, I'm destroying this whole state.
Wow.
I just wish he would have stomped on that fucking piece of shit university down there.
So pretty much, and just hold on before we.
Oh, sorry.
Before we get there. So pretty much, to start us off, Superman's doing a talk show interview.
Yeah.
While this is all going on.
Yeah, and the Justice League is literally getting the shit beat out of him. Like, Ice, like I said, she gets thrown through a building. She's also in there like, ow, everything hurts. And Doomsday like notices she's still alive and punches the fuck out of her stomach to the point that you hear her ribs crack, but somehow her costume's still intact. There's no blood. I'm like, dude, it's so funny how that works in comics in the 90s because like nowadays, like you would have seen someone's arm getting ripped off, random things would have been fucked up. Like you know what I mean? Like people would have been noticeably fucked up. And this are kind of like, oh, they're okay.
Well, this,
like,
90s comics are campy as fuck. They're flying around in a Blue Beetle airplane. Like, they're corny. It's corny as fuck.
It's corny as fuck. But like, let's be real, like Blue Beetle is dead.
Oh, 100%.
Like every single member of the Justice League, except for, I don't even know what the fuck. At one point, Blue Beetle makes a point that he's like, oh, I know what Bloodwind is now. And then
Dude, I was like, who the fuck is Bloodwind?
Yeah, and then Doomsday's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, he's like, you're going to get your ass beat right now.
Well, Booster Gold gets his head crushed in the door. That's what happens. What?
Jesus Christ.
What do we miss?
Bloodwind is the descendant of a group of African-American slaves owned by a brutal, sadistic planter named Jacob Whitney. These slaves performed an ancient ritual to create a mystical blood gem with which they killed Whitney. The blood gem was passed down among the slaves' descendants. The gem bestowed great physical powers on its wearer, unbeknownst to them. It also contained a microscopic world where Jacob Whitney's spirit had become incarnate as the demon Rot. Over the years, Rot grew stronger as the gem absorbed the dark side of each wearer's soul.
So his character pretty much has no background story. You're supposed to know what he is.
This blood gem is a Shinanigans Engine.
He's kind of like Spawn, maybe, almost in a way.
No.
Kind of sin.
They're both just black. He's not at all like Spawn. Like, Spawn is, I mean, like, Spawn is different. Spawn was, like, created to be, like, the leader of an army from hell. Yeah, Bloodwind is like just a dude with kind of a weird backstory.
Yeah, but doesn't he kind of like, he says something about sin? Like he's like, I've traveled through a world and seen every sin or something like that. Yeah. So I'm referencing in a sense of like hell, like, you know, like he's seen hell. Spawn's obviously seen hell. That's what I meant by he's similar to Spawn in that aspect of things. Guy Gardner isn't even the Green Lantern.
Yeah,
Grand
what exactly
Lantern.
is his
I have
power?
no
He
idea.
Just found another like.
No idea. I was so confused by that. But yeah, so Superman eventually goes and joins the fight after they've all gotten pretty much their ass kicked, like I said, and Booster Gold gets his head crushed in the door. Yeah. And pretty much thrown across the fucking room.
Which, like, I don't understand how the door, like, how is he not dead? Like, as strong as Doomsday is, why are you wasting your time with the car door?
I don't know. That was bad.
Doomsday wastes a lot of time killing random woodland creatures. I feel like that needs to get addressed. There's like a bird flying around. He's like, oh, land of mine. He's like, oh, I killed you, bird.
He breaks like the deer's neck.
Like, yo, what's up, buddy? He's like, oh, I killed you too, deer. Like, stop. Like, why? Like,
he straight up Bambied that fucking deer.
And then at one point, there's a commercial for Metropolis. Then he sees a sign.
The WWF commercial.
Yeah, and then he sees a sign that says Metropolis, somehow can read the English language and determines Metropolis. And Superman immediately assesses, oh no, he made a connection with that commercial in the store. Now he knows to go to Metropolis. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, why would What?
And he jumps. He hops like a rabbit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, the
Like-
Hulk travels the same way, but yeah, he just leaps there, and it's like 60 miles away, and he's just like, I'm just going to do it. It takes him like 4 seconds.
Yeah, and as this whole fight's going on, the Justice League somehow managed to get like a second wind. Some of them get a second wind, and then they start fighting again to the point where Bloodwind's just kind of like...
I'm sorry, no, your note about Lex Luthor II might be my favorite thing I've read in a while. Cam's got a note here that Supergirl is with Lex Luthor II, who looks Irish as fuck. Which is hysterical, but also not wrong.
He looks like a leprechaun.
Very Irish.
He looks like a fucking leprechaun.
That's really funny.
But Bloodwind at one point just teleports away. He's like, I can't do this anymore. And just
He's
leaves.
like, I'm hurt.
And just leaves.
Yeah.
And then Supergirl, like I said, is with Lex Luthor. And they're like hanging out.
Let me see if I can find this, because I remember reading this as a kid. My dad owned this comic.
I'll put the script. I'll put it up.
Yeah.
I got to make a show note of when, because I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah,
and I said
this scene, literally, I've never seen someone get obliterated in my entire life as bad as Supergirl gets obliterated by Doomsday, because the whole time she's like, Lex, I should probably go help, but he's like, no, stay here with me, y'all. I don't know what that voice was.
I don't know.
He's like,
what are you doing there?
He's like, stay here with me. Like, I need you. You're Metropolis's last hope. And then one where she's like, fuck it. I've got to go help. She flies out there. Doomsday literally hits her one time, and her face melts. And that's not an exaggeration. We're going to put the picture up right now.
Yeah.
Her fucking face melts. As a child, I was like, what the fuck just happened? And nobody is concerned about it. She hits the ground in a pile of goo, and nobody does a goddamn thing. And I'm flipping through, like, is nobody worried about, like, she fucking melted? Like, why are people still fighting this guy? Like, why is this still a thing?
I thought it was a printing issue. I was like, yo, someone smudged my book.
And I had to look it up after reading it, like, now as an adult, like, this week.
Yeah.
I had to look it up. She's a clone that's like literally a goo-based clone of Supergirl. Like, she's not nearly as strong as Superman. There's a whole background to it. She's like Matrix. She's a Matrix clone that the Lex Luthor made in a different dimension that came to this dimension. She went by May after it was devolved from Matrix. I don't know. It's fucking dumb. But like, she literally melts.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job explaining that one.
It blew my goddamn mind.
So did I.
What the fuck? Like,
I was so confused. I was like, wait, are they gonna explain that?
her eyes are coming out of her face.
Yeah, they're gone.
Like, she's
gone.
fucking dead. Like, she's so goddamn dead. Like, and it just doesn't get addressed. Literally, no one cares.
She's just like lying on the ground, blue.
Yeah,
she's
and like, Superman's right there, and he's like, yeah, whatever. He's like,
he must know. He must
Yeah.
like, yeah, fuck you. You ain't who you say you are. And then you have Bloodwing that disappears away. You got Supergirl who gets destroyed, and then Maximus like, hold on, let me help. Let me save the day. She pulls the fucking gas line out of the ground and blows it up.
Yeah, she says Superman's like, yo, chill. There's still innocent people around. Like, we've got to beat them, but we've got to like not kill people.
Yep.
She's like, innocent lives must be sacrificed. And like blows up the whole fucking thing.
And nothing happens.
Yeah, nothing happens. Guardian shows up. He's like, did you guys need to do this? He's like, was any of this actually necessary?
Yeah. And then that's kind of the first time where I think Superman actually says, like, hey, innocent people are going to be sacrificed here, and we just got to fucking deal with it.
He's like, it's not even, he's just like, I have to stop. He's like, I literally am being pushed to my limit. I have to stop him. But although, if it's me, and I'm Superman, I'm probably going to fly him into space.
He tries to.
Does he? I think he just tries to fly. Oh, no, he kicks out. You're right.
Yeah.
My bad. You're right. He kicks free. Because I'm like, bro, we need to chill in the fucking sun for a little bit where I have a goddamn advantage.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he tries it and he kicks out because the battle crosses half the nation, they say. Goes from like fucking, I guess you could say like California, maybe they say.
I don't think it's quite California. I know it's that big fight with the Justice League is in Ohio, which is middle-ish. And then Metropolis is technically, I believe, supposed to be in Delaware.
Is it?
Yeah.
I thought it was supposed to be like a knockoff of New York.
New York. But it's technically supposed to be Delaware, and Gotham is South Jersey.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because they're like close to each other. It's still fucking dumb, but
Because at one point they finally figure out that Doomsday's from War World. They say. I don't remember who actually comes to terms where he's from. They make a big.
Why the fuck was he on Earth? Like, I just want one explanation.
They don't explain that.
He's in a random suit. I'm like, who the fuck put him in that suit?
It's like a green.
Yeah, and it's just like his arms are tied behind his back. Somehow he gets one arm free, and he just keeps punching this fucking wall until he's out.
Yeah, that was weird.
Well, apparently,
and they make a big deal about the Tree City, the habitat, and they're like, "Oh my god, he destroyed the Tree City, the lab habitat." I'm like, "Wow, like whatever." Sure. And at one point, Superman and Doomsday are fighting, and Doomsday straight up pile drives Superman.
Yeah,
like
Superman gets his ass fucking
pile drives
beat in this fight.
He does, but Doomsday also takes it, gets beat up pretty well, but he just keeps coming.
He does, but
the thing, hold on, real fast. The thing that I thought was really, really bad, what they did, is so Doomsday's kind of fully exposed, probably by like the 5th or 6th issue, I would say, and it takes them to the last issue to them to realize, hey, there's outer bones, there's outer skeleton.
I agree. That's exactly what I was
like,
say,
it took you this long to break a piece of his bone. But also,
like, was the thing I had to like look? Were his bones growing throughout that fight? Because I feel like
they got bigger. You think
they had to, because like he was wearing knee pads. Like there wasn't like spikes coming through his knees before, but towards the end there were.
True.
And then Superman breaks one of those, and Doom's like, "Ow, that hurt." I'm like, that is what got you. But there's also not a clear explanation as to how either of them actually died.
They just punch each other at the same time.
Yeah. And that's like just.
And they pretty much say it was like a big enough boom, like a sonic boom, big enough that you could feel it like across the entire planet.
Yeah.
And, you're right. Would he break his neck?
I don't really know. But Doomsday is terrifying because he has just resurrection powers where he can adaptive resurrection, I think they call it, where he can never die the same way twice, and that is fucking terrifying.
Well, they don't explain that, do they?
They don't explain that in this, because I think that's something that just came up later. They're just like, oh, let's bring Doomsday back. Like, he can never die the same way.
He doesn't. Before I have some notes I wanted to talk about. They did a terrible job with him in the movie.
What, when he beats the shit out of?
No, isn't he in Batman vs Superman?
Oh God!
Come on,
they do a real bad job with that.
Not even close. Awful casting, but
such a bad job.
The thing,
because even he dies a couple times. They're like they kill him, quote unquote, but then he comes back and he gets more spiky and evolved, and it's poorly done.
It's
really poorly.
He looked
done.
like shit in that movie,
and it was so unnecessary to the film. It was completely unnecessary to have as part of it. Like they tried to do too much.
100%.
Yeah.
But what got me to when I was doing more research on this book was that this whole storyline, Doomsday, Funeral for a Friend, and Reign of Superman, started December of 1992. Okay? It took them 2 months to finish Superman dying. So the last one was in January of 1993. In June of 1993, they brought Superman back. So he was dead for 6 months. You're going to tell me that you couldn't hold this off for another fucking 2 or 3 years? It had to be 6 months? 6 months! Like, this whole storyline took 6 months.
I mean, I guess they wanted to drag it out a little bit.
Drag it out? They didn't drag it out. It took them 6 months.
Oh, no, that's what you're saying. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm saying, why would you not hold this off longer? Like, that made no sense.
A lot of things were happening for a lot of different characters at the time. I don't know what the fuck Wonder Woman was doing, but this is while Batman was crippled by Bane.
Yes, yep.
So Batman was, but either way, I was reading something online like, why didn't Batman show up? And someone wrote like, what was he gonna do? Like realistically, like what was Batman gonna be like? Hey, Superman, you should probably get here. Blue Beetle's getting his ass beat. I'm gonna stay back here in the Batplane where it's safe. But like, you should get here as soon as possible. I'm gonna shoot some missiles or something. Like, what the fuck is he gonna do?
Yeah, they didn't. But even the Justice League is like it's like such a B league.
It's not even a B league. Like
it's like the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, like let's get some scrubs and.
But really,
together.
like a Booster Gold really should. He's from the fucking future. Really should have had like I don't know some kind of future newspaper. Like, wait, is today September 28th? It's like yeah, it's like 1991. Like yeah, like. Yo, we gotta get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah,
this is some serious bullshit that's about to get. Superman's gonna die. I'm going back to the future. Fuck this. Like I'm out for this.
Yeah, they did a bad job. with that aspect of things. But we did say last week that we were going to start giving ratings on this. Either, what do we say? Don't read it when you have time, or GFR, go fucking read it.
Yeah, I would say this is a read it when you have time.
I 100% agree with you on that.
Yeah, this is not like something you avoid. It's definitely worth the read. It's not like bad. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's not really something that necessarily like you get it. Like you understand what it is. You get what's happening on it, and it's just not something that, again, it's $5 right now. You can get it at the freaking comic shop for $5
for like nothing. And this was, this was a big fucking deal in the 90s. Like, this was huge. Like, people like Superman's fucking dead.
Yep.
Like, gotta see this.
You could also just watch the movie, and it's probably a better option. But before we get into
the movie's bullshit, though, and I'm sorry. I know he's your boy. I know I rip on him all the time. But spoilers, Batman is the last Justice League member standing against Doomsday, which is absolute bullshit. The Flash, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, all these other guys go down, and Batman's sitting there with some bullshit little fucking explosives talking about, oh, Superman, get here fast. I'm like, no, bro. No, you're not dodging this. Like, you're not fucking getting out of the way. The entire Justice League is down, and Batman's like, I'll do a backflip. I'm like, no. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, get out of here. He's Doomsday in those movies literally punches people's heads, and they explode. Like,
Batman's the G.
And then they clone Doomsday in Apocalypse War.
Oh, yeah, they do.
They clone Doomsday, merge him with the Parademons, and they massacre the Justice League. Massacre them. Like, completely rip limbs. They're tearing people apart. Batgirl gets exploded.
Yeah.
Like, no. Batman does not make it through that. I'm sorry.
Look at Batman in Apocalypse War.
Did he get kidnapped and, like, mind controlled?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still survived.
Because Doomsday wanted his fucking brain. It wasn't because he, his fucking abilities.
Fair enough. But before we get into the Shenanigans Edge of the Week, real quick, I want to run through this. The comics we have read 14 comics so far. Well, I know this is the 21st episode, but we had the boys. So I just want to go through this real fast. We're going to give you a rating and post them online. So, but we have to agree. Maximum Carnage.
Read it when you get the chance.
I agree. Kraven's Last Hunt.
Oh, go fucking read it.
I agree. Enemy of the State.
Go fucking read it.
I agree. Killing Joke.
Go fucking read it.
I agree. Joker Killer Smile.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
If you want something weird and that's just like trippy, read it.
Yeah.
Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe.
When you get the chance.
Yep. Nemesis.
When you get the chance.
Power Rangers Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
No.
I need to read that.
Flashpoint.
When you get the chance. You're going to say go fucking read it?
I was going to say, hold on.
For me.
I was going to say go fucking read it if you want to read the other alternate timelines.
Yeah, this is like, it depends on how deep in the rabbit hole you're going. If you really want to get invested in something and, find out all the ways it can spider off, go fucking read it. If you're just kind of curious and you're like, I don't really know, then read it when you get the chance, because it is a little weird.
We'll say read. The Boys.
No.
Hard no.
Hard pass.
Wanted. I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say just listen to our spoiler review on it.
Because it's like I feel like people are gonna go in expecting it to be like the movie, and it's not like that.
It's not.
So yeah, I'll agree with that.
And then we said obviously Death of Superman where we can. What we're reading next week, we actually don't know yet.
Didn't we determine that last week?
Oh, we did. It is
I don't remember, but we said it.
The Long Halloween is the last.
Long Halloween's for Halloween, so there's one in between that.
We have it listed. We have to also have to listen back to the episode and figure out what it is. But Matt, tell us, Shenanigans Engine, what do we got?
So since we were discussing it, I had something else. I'll save it for next time. I'm gonna go with Days of Future Past. Kitty Pryde's powers. Absolute fucking bullshit. This girl, for 2 or 3 movies, can just walk through walls, and it's like, okay, cool, whatever, like, nice power. And all of a sudden, they're like, she can phase people through time. Like, what? How do you even figure that out? How do you even find out you can phase somebody through time, but their body's still there? You're just putting them... How do you know they didn't just have a fucking dream? You can't just say, oh, I'm phasing Wolverine through time. Like, no. That's not a thing. That's not even. It doesn't even make sense in relation to her fucking powers. I just dropped that bottle cap that I was playing with. It doesn't even fucking make sense. Like it's complete, absolute, bizarre shenanigans. Just get a new mutant and give that mutant the ability to send people back through time. Like why the hell would she have the ability to phase people through time? It doesn't make sense.
Money.
What do you mean money?
Money. You're talking about the movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying just because they've already got Ellen Page?
They don't want to cast somebody.
Yeah. But either way, you get what I'm saying. Like, it's just fucking stupid. Like, the whole thing is just absolute bullshit. Like, it's just like, how the fuck, like, why would that be it? How do you find that out? How do you even know? It's like, oh, we can send someone back. She'll send someone back a couple minutes to warn us about the thing. Like, what? Why would you?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I guess it's a good point. And you know what else is a good point? Is you said to me last week on the end of the show, write down the next 3 comic books in order. And I said, no, I'll remember it. And I have no idea what the fuck it is. Well, one last time, this is Why Am I Nerd presents Wud Up Comics, where you can follow us on Instagram at Why Am I Nerd Official, Facebook.com/Why Am I Nerd. You listen to new issues every Tuesday on YouTube and your favorite podcast service.
All of them.
So we will find out shortly what the hell we're reading next week. But stay tuned in 2 weeks. We will be reading, I think it should be 2 weeks.
2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
We'll be reading Long Halloween. What the fuck did we say was the other comic? I can't remember what it was for at all right now.
I'm drawing a major blank.
All right, yeah,
but
we're going to figure it out.
With that being said...
If only Kitty Pryde was here to phase us back to last week where we could figure out what it was.
Yeah. Well, again, I guess we just have to listen to last week's episode. So, cue the music. We're the Nerds with the Mouse. I'm Cameron James. He's Matt Pereira. Till next time.
We're out.